So I'm gonna tell you about my experiences with cartooning specifically. We're not gonna go too much into claymation and stop motion animation yet, but we will talk about what cartoons, cartoonists, and cartooning in any traditional or new age form meant to me over the many years, maybe even beyond 20 years. I'm gonna aim the camera away from my face and not do face cam right now because I need to focus on walking towards the neighborhood in this. But we are looking at no longer than maybe a 20 or 40-minute video, and that's saying quite a bit since these videos have to be longer than 3 minutes or 15 seconds so they don't come shorts. But there you go, because the format alone will screw that over. But sometimes they come shorts, and it was funny. But so, as many of you have known, Tony Cashman, yes, this guy is a cartoonist, and a lot of what gets him where he is down to what he does with his life according to his own creative talent and even creative existence. A lot of me is very imaginative. I sometimes don't shut up. I went over that in the last video, but I sometimes kind of get a little word salady. I get a little imaginative, unrealistic, dreamy, daydream. I stay up all night, kind of a little bit of insomniac sometimes. So I overthink, and to an extent, I even do very inappropriate, naughty things. But beyond that scope, I am, a very beautiful person. And among these things are none other than my creative passion. And I am very much in denial of the talent and passion I have for cartooning. And that's going to be for another video. But I'll address that. I promise I'll address another video. But all you need to know is what got me into the experience I had with cartooning. And so one of the things I'll address right away is that particularly I was going to be able to express this better through claymation. But let's just describe one thing that makes us different from stop motion for once. My drawing skills. So when I draw and sketch in freeform, write notes and notations and dictate things, even on a recording device like this one, and I draw and sketch, and because for me drawing and sketching are two different things. Sketching could be quick. It could also be geometrical format, like they teach you in those drawing textbooks that they do teach you in elementary school and junior high. But for me, I find it that you can actually learn how to draw without learning how to do it properly. And the abstract, doodly kind of style can still be very important even if you don't have to use it anymore. And people who navigate away from sketching, like me, who don't actually draw properly, so to speak, they're not too in vain of that. But I think it's not supposed to be like that. But a lot of people who actually learn to draw, who have not compromised sketching, know that's okay trying new things, even the things that they used to, all over again. Sometimes you go to the classics, like you're doodling, you're sketching, either or, you learn better. I'll give a very specific example of this. You see the thumbnail, the Crowd of Clockwork thumbnail? That guy I drew on just now, that is a doodle of Crowd the Clockwork from Good Evil Chronicles. And for those of you who remember this, I was probably one of the most controversial dramatic users on the Crowdhouse forums because I would not stop spamming and advertising, and for some reason I didn't even know how I was miscommunicating with people. I had the poorest communication on Crowdhouse particularly. One of the worst things about me was that I didn't know how to listen to them, and they didn't know how to believe me, and the toxic pattern would just go rinse and repeat for many years on end. And to make a long story short about the drama, is that Good Evil was a cartoon I would promote on the website, not on YouTube per se, and then I would make the machine that was about Good Evil a very creative amalgam of the story with a robot leading 3 other monsters to victory, and even philosophizing the meaning of life and if good evil even exists to begin with. This is a creative project for sure. If that existed in 2008, 2006, think about what would have existed going forwards if I kept going at it, Well, that was Good Evil. Not even Algebra Project had the fact about my plan. But for cartooning's sake, drawing Crab was very fun. He actually, the bronze robot, he's oblong, as in he's not symmetrical, asymmetrical. So drawing his big claw and his small trick-shot claw for his hands, his box tome shaped like feet, his Gears Rise eyeballs. That's not something you can remiss, dude. That's creative as hell. It doesn't make me feel any worse that I didn't realize that he was actually shadow work in the form of a cartoon. I didn't know in the moment when creating Crab that he actually was a shadow work Carl Jung version of myself, because all I knew in the moment was I was trying to be creative. But deep down, the fact that Crab couldn't communicate, the fact that he couldn't speak easily, the fact that he was inactive and procrastinating all the time, and even working hard too much, those are all factors of and even imperfect, and traumatized. Those are all factors of somebody who, descriptively speaking, is a traumatized, troubled individual and being. Crab was me, and the cartooning creativity saved my life. Even before I got into stop motion, that already saved my life, because it helped me explore an idea that would matter many years in the future, to this day, how I got here, and how that mattered to me. Now, for those of you who also know, I'll mention one thing about cartooning in terms of claymation. And this is going to lead into a little bit about algebras, which, if I'm talking about enough about algebras this video, I will next time. But, not part of chat actually. How about, Logic Challenger? Perfect. Okay. Maybe not claymation, so Logic Challenger. So this was a video game idea for a ball, and my brother in part did involve himself in this. So he's the reason I know a lot of the mechanics physically. Like, Rydon would know this better than Willie, actually. But that's the dox them for later. Saying they're Orami, Rydops names off the bat, YouTube and Steam. But, you know. And so you think about, like, how the heck do physics majors and computer scientists know how video games work? Because they don't just play video games, they actually are in college for this. And they know their stuff. Like, Rydon will actually know how, like, a moon cycle will happen, and I'm the astrologer myself. Willie will know the same thing. Like Arami, he'll actually understand that how a ball like Logic Challenger ball will bounce through physical platforms and even go surpass them, and go past them. The way the mechanic worked in the game, and that was just, again, you know, Incredibots. So physics simulator engine right there, Box 2D, all you name it. Bust Brian Clark for that, or even the creators of John Oliver as well. AJ or Billy Jamal otherwise. We'll see. Long story with that though. But anyways. And so you notice this with the thing with Logic Challenger is that Logic Challenger wasn't just a video game. It was another cartoon idea. And drawing a simple green ball with marks on the sides, with eyeballs and cartooning awesome smiling emoji face, the way I did was not vain to cartooning. Even as someone who didn't know what his tragedy was, I at least was satisfied doing that character. He didn't have to have a story like Crab, but he was still a very profound ingredient in my life, to put that very pedantically. I don't bluff when I say that I care about my characters. What I don't bluff about too hard, though, at the same time, when I'm not serious enough, when I'm not specific enough, ironically speaking, is when I don't realize what my character is telling me. And I didn't mean to hide from that. Usually, guys, I don't hide from things. Like, the shadow work I've done for the last 2 years, 2023, 2024, 2025 now, cartooning and claymation helped a lot with that. But I don't know, like, why people think I'm actually, like, mean to them, when I've already been vain to my own suffering and tragedy where it has been laid. Like, I don't know the difference between being nice and mean. So, when I'm in denial of being creative, when people are like, oh, of course your creativity is a good thing, why would you be mad about that? And they would say I was creative for sure, and then they'd even be to the point of like saying, I don't understand why you think creativity is a bad thing. And I don't hold anything against those people at all. But cartooning does not have to be Tony Cashman. Tony Cashman is Tony Cashman. And I don't regret drawing, sculpting, filming, and making comic strips. I really don't. I would not trade that for the world. My father saved my life, giving me the suggestion to be a cartoonist, rich and famous, you name it. Even successful, if that matter. Even being happy, if that matter. Because without these skills, without these blessings, without Good Evil Chronicles, Algebras, and Project Tether, without a lot of this stuff, Logic Challenger, you know, even as far down as Chicken, Zackman, and freaking Smiley, holy crap, that goes way back. Poetry Brothers, yeah. No, it's sulfur, different reflection. Anonymous story, fun there. Not vain, right? Not vain at all. And I don't remiss it, not for a second. I'm way too hard on myself, dude. way too hard on myself. And I didn't know I was. I thought I was the most confident person because I had nothing to lose. When I was in school, like when I was in junior high, I don't know why I didn't tell people I was a cartoonist. I told them I wanted to be a career cartoonist, but no, I didn't show them anything from Good Evil or Algebra when I was in school. I didn't show any of my colleagues Punch Tether. I don't know why I was like that. Like with VidMe, for instance, like Rocky, Ramen, and Penzatino, they know more about like my creativity than my graceful friends did. And they didn't see me as a close person to them. Like EB, Environmental Bot from Microbots, he didn't see me as a close person at all. And I thought we were close. It's stuff like that. It sounds irrelevant to my creative abstraction, but it is being creative and abstract, right? So it does have truth to it. It's like when you think of like somebody who actually knows what they're doing and still makes mistakes, you're gonna think about something like me eventually, right? You're gonna think about it, and it's not gonna be vain. But my creativity is an undeniable part of who I am as a person. And for me to just sit there and be like, well, I'm not actually creative, I just have people telling me I am. No, they're telling me that for a reason. Sooner or later, my ego, when I was a teenager, or preteen, even a young adult, my ego is going to get the best of me. And the longer I deny my own creative and imaginative genius for even a positive reason, the worse things will be. And that's not to be hard on myself at all. I have been hard on myself, and I didn't know, and I'm sorry. I didn't know because either I was in denial, or I didn't know how to investigate on my own individual path, or both. And when I see stuff like that, I'm like, okay, that can't possibly be a bad thing, right? Because I'm always positive and, uplifting people, working hard, maybe even too hard, and obviously that's happened before. How do I not know how to be honest when I'm honest the entire time? And part of that is because I felt like I wasn't lying enough. I never told a single lie my entire life, quote unquote trademark, right? There's no way that I'm either this invincible bastard that nobody likes or this pitiful jerk that everyone wants to not deal with. But that's not being me hard on myself. In that moment saying that is not me saying, well, being a creative artist doesn't mean you have to be anyone's business. It's more like, I know that I have some creative tendencies and qualities, but why do I need to investigate that or even use it just to save my life? Why do I have to be an artist just to be a human being? Why am I predestined to be an artist, a musician, a poet, a writer, even a film director? Why do I have to do the things just to be on this earth? And the answer to that question is that I don't have to do any of those things. It's just projection on my behalf. Because I'm stubborn and troubled and confused and even guilt and shame oriented, stressed and anxious in ways that I'm still in denial of. The second half of which is the most in denial. I don't deny being talented or passionate, but sometimes I don't know what I mean by that. When I say that I have I don't know the difference between positive and negative, pessimist, optimistic, maybe even disrespectful and thoughtful. When I have no middle ground, creativity does help with that. Being a cartoonist helps with that. Being an animator helps with that. But if I don't know how to use those things, that's okay. If I don't know how to make that count, that's okay. If it takes work that I don't want to actually put into in even an authentic, honest way, truthfully, that's okay. For me, this journey is not about me having to already tell people, well, don't tell me not run in a marathon sprint. I'm the Olympic sprinter in the champion level anyways, 2032 level. See, and these legs don't lie to me. But, yeah, we'll see. But, see that shell right there? That's the shot I'm working with. Okay, but anyways, we'll see how you guys are there. I think this should be a video. If it uploads as a short, I didn't do it right, but I've seen driving Granite School show up like that. It's been different, but I don't know. I just yeah, end card content. If I add them, the first two will be best for viewer and recent upload. The bottom two will be a playlist and a subscribe button. That should be it for now. I think it's gonna be 1422. Check you guys. Best things ideal, bad things promised. Life is fair. If you might default.